This episode is sponsored by Ancho Reyes Chili Liqueur, a spicy spirit made in Puebla, Mexico. Ancho Reyes original chili liqueur is made from sun-dried ancho peppers, perfect for adding spice and smoke to your next cocktail. Later in the episode, I'll be mixing it up in a spicy margarita to pair with today's topic, empanadas. You can find Ancho Reyes at your local liquor store or at the link in the video description. Let's get down to basics. Alright, so lots of different countries and cultures lay claim to their own version of the empanada. So I'm going to go ahead and not try to nail any of those and stick with what I'm familiar with, what you can get from a New York City street cart. We're starting off with the dough, which is a simple one, 500 grams of all-purpose flour and 1 teaspoon of kosher salt, which we're going to mix together just to make sure that it's slightly mixed together. And then adding 60 grams of lard, butter, oil, or the other room temperature fat of your choice, which you want to kind of press and rub between the grains of flour until it resembles sort of a damp sand. The faster you move your hand around and squeeze the flour, the more it looks like you know what you're doing. Now we're going to add anywhere from 225 to 275 grams of hot water, about 180 degrees Fahrenheit. We're mixing this together by hand for 1 minute, just until no dry patches of flour remain. Go ahead and plop that in a bowl and cover it with a second larger bowl or plastic wrap for 20 to 30 minutes at room temperature. This is going to give the flour time to properly hydrate and make sure that we have a dough with the right consistency, which, unbeknownst to me, this one is not. So I ended up overworking it, kneading it for about 6 minutes or until it had well-developed gluten before plopping it back in my bowl combo and so boldly attempting to fry. I'd used 250 grams of hot water, and in my case the dough was underhydrated. I'm only showing you this to show you what happens when your dough is like Bobby Hill, and already that boy ain't right. Because after frying at 400 degrees Fahrenheit for 4 to 5 minutes, they look like shiny yellow alien eggs. The dryness of the dough putting highlights on my errors in crimping, and the profound gluten development refusing to allow the dough to playfully puff. So after a second batch that I did in a stand mixer because I'm lazy, this time trying 275 grams of water and much less kneading time, for a soft, pliable, impressionable dough that we're going to divide into 16 even pieces that we're going to roll out into rounds before filling, crimping, and frying. And as you can see, these guys develop a tiny crystalline network of bubbly cells of crunchy crispiness. So now that we got our dough down, let's talk fillings. First up, and most common, is a beef and hard-boiled egg filling. We're starting by sauteing some onions in some neutral flavored oil in a preheated saute pan. 3 to 5 minutes over medium heat or until beginning to soften and caramelize before adding a couple cloves of crushed garlic, letting that receive only a 30-second kiss from the heat of the flame before adding 1 pound of ground round, browning until lightly browned. Once hardly any pink spots remain, I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of freshly ground annatto seeds because I can't find my pre-ground ones, sifting through a fine mesh sieve so we don't end up with any pebbles, and either substituting or augmenting with sweet, smoky, or spicy paprika. Season to taste with salt and pepper as the beef finishes cooking, kill the heat, and add 2 chopped boiled eggs. Stir to combine, and there you have it, our beef and egg filling. Next up, a chicken and red pepper filling, which normally utilizes poached chicken. I like to more gently poach my chicken by butterflying it thinly and placing in a saucepan full of boiling water just removed from the heat. Cover and let sit for about 18 minutes or until the chicken comes up to temp. Shred and set aside while we begin once again sauteing half an onion. Once that gets a little color on it, we're going to add half a chopped red bell pepper, sauteing together for a few more minutes or until both vegetables are soft. Then I'm grating in 3 cloves of garlic because I misplaced my crusher, sauteing together for an additional 30 seconds before adding 2 tablespoons of tomato paste, along with 1 teaspoon of ground cumin and 1.5 teaspoons of dried oregano. Toast these guys together for another 30 seconds or so just to wake up the food flavors. Add the poached chicken along with a little splash of the cooking water optionally, and once again the paprika of your choice. Give everybody a little mix and allow to cook for 1 to 3 minutes just to let the flavors meld, seasoning the taste with kosher salt and freshly ground black pepper before returning once again to the filling station. Empanadas are pretty much just turnovers, so place a couple tablespoons of filling in the middle of a dough round, moisten half of the outside edge with a wetted finger, and pinch tightly to seal shut. Then comes the option to either crimp with a fork or opt for the more traditional and recognizable Empanada Crimp, which sort of repeatedly folds up and twists over the previous fold, a process that I am admittedly not really the best at. Luckily, this dough is pretty forgiving once it gets out of the fry oil. Rinse and repeat, of course, with the chicken filling, and optionally you can do a cheese and guava filling. Simply stack a slice of guava paste and queso blanco for a more unique fruit and cheese flavored entrant in the empanada community. Whatever you stuff them with, make sure that they are crimped up double tight before frying at 400 degrees Fahrenheit for anywhere from 4 to 6 minutes, or until lightly golden brown, deliciously puffed, and a shatteringly glassy crisp exterior over a playfully stretchy and chewy interior. Plate up and serve with your favorite salsa, sour cream, hot sauce, whatever. Now all these guys need, especially if you're entertaining, is a delicious cocktail. So to go with our empanadas, we're going to make a classic margarita with a spicy twist. In addition to 2 ounces of high-quality tequila, we're adding 1 ounce of ancho reyes, original chili liqueur, and the juice of 1 lime to a cocktail shaker. Then to complement the spiciness, we're going with a sugar rim instead of a salt rim. Then we're giving our cocktail a spirited shaking, so to speak, garnishing our prepared rocks glass with a lime twist, and straining the cocktail over ice. And there you have it, a cocktail that's as easy to make as it is spicy and complex. Thanks again to Ancho Reyes Chili Liqueur for sponsoring today's episode. This unique spirit made in Puebla, Mexico, consistently brings complex pepper flavor to cocktails. Instead of chopping and muddling peppers in your next drink, try adding some Ancho Reyes to get that spicy, smoky flavor. They also have Ancho Reyes Verde Chili Liqueur, made with poblano peppers to add a vegetal flavor to what you're making. Get either bottle and create your own cocktail. Give it a try in an old-fashioned, Bloody Mary, or martini. Find Ancho Reyes at your local liquor store or at the link in the video description.